Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the podcast. Today, I have Vintage Warrior in the house. He is a fellow Rosebowl veteran, been doing it a long time. We've been friends for a while, buying and selling to each other, chopping it up. He's a skateboarder, and he really specializes in true vintage. What do I mean by true vintage? The older stuff. 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, mixed garments, military, sportswear, t-shirts, but not only t-shirts. So it's an interesting episode. If you want to learn more about the history of true vintage clothing, definitely watch the whole thing. Okay, but before we get into it, I have some vintage news for you. First of all, Sarah Goulet, who is one of my staff members at Frankie, my number 2 at Frankie Collective, says my intros are too long. What do you guys think of this? Do you think my intros are too long? If you do, put it in the comments. If you want me to get to the interviews and stop doing these intros, put it in the comments. Or if you're down with my intros, I want to know too. Also, give this video a thumbs up, guys. Okay, quick vintage news. So, a t-shirt beat the genie. We had a t-shirt hit 6.1K. This time it was a Fuji's Mona Lisa t-shirt, wrap tee, bootleg style. I thought it was cool. This makes a lot more sense to me than the Genie t-shirt, but to each their own. Who am I to judge? But prices are still booming. And on that note, 1980 Something Co. and the Vintage Wiz are doing a physical flea market. They're opening up a physical flea market called the Virtual Flea. I don't know how to say it. It's a weird name, but that's going to be in Florida. Go check them out for more details on that. I think booth space are already sold out. If you're in Florida, go check that out. Rosebowl is still a no-go. I went on the website yesterday, and it's not opening for at least October. Tell you the truth, I'm not mad about it. I might go to Cali anyway, but this is the first time I will be home with my family for Canadian Thanksgiving. So I'm gonna cook a turkey, make some stuffing and mashed potatoes, and have a good old time chilling with my fam. If you don't know already, F as in Frank has opened up outlets in Hudson Bay stores across Canada. We have one here in Vancouver. We have a couple in Toronto, Calgary, all over the place. If you're in Hudson Bay, if you're Canadian, go check out our outlets. Vintage clothes is now being sold on the mainstream markets in a department store, and we are a big part of it. I think this is a cool move as far as fashion goes, because it means we're going to be able to effectively get at more people, get more people interested in vintage, more people interested in recycling and secondhand. It's going to make the market boom, just like all this online stuff is making the market boom. Getting into department stores, getting people accustomed to buying secondhand is going to make the market boom even more. So I think it's a good thing. And yeah, go check out the Hudson Bays. As always, Vintage and Stuff code. Vintage and Stuff podcast listeners get 35% off FasInFrankVintage.com with code VTG and stuff. Okay, you heard that right. 35% off at FasInFrankVintage.com with code VTG and stuff. Go check that out. We've been dropping so much good stuff on there. People are sleeping hard. There's lots of gems on there. Hammers, actually. Sorry, I didn't mean to say gems. I meant to say hammers. That's what we say on this show, and that's what I say from now on going forward. Okay, let's get into this. One more quick thing. If you want to support me, if you like what I do, please share these episodes. Please subscribe to the channel. Please throw the thumbs up. And also, if you really like it, go check out my Patreon, posting exclusive footage on there all the time. Tips, tricks, different levels of support you can get on. You can support me for as little as a cup of coffee a month, basically. And if you do, I mad appreciate you, but I appreciate everybody regardless. Mad love on all the latest episodes. So much listeners. I'm super stoked. But enough of that. Let's get into it.
Welcome to Vintage and Stuff with two high fits. Welcome to Vintage and welcome to Vintage and Stuff with two high fits. Welcome to Vintage and welcome to Vintage and Stuff. Two high fits. Welcome to Vintage and welcome to Vintage and Stuff. Vintage and Stuff. We got vintage clothing by the rack. Yeah. Just check out my Insta. How you gon' argue with that? Everything you see, I manifest. I'm an architect.
Vintage
What the
Warrior.
fuck is up, Warrior?
Warrior! Come out and play! Yeah, welcome to the show, dude.
What is up?
Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, missed the Rose Bowl.
Yeah, dude. I miss seeing your ugly mug at the bowl with your newsy apron on.
Yeah, I always gotta have something cool on, some little flair, you know.
Yeah, dude. So that's where we met. You think it's coming back? When are we going back to the bowl, dude?
When are we coming back to anything? It's just like online now, online bowl.
Online brain. We just can like plug into the internet through a cable.
Yeah, I mean, I have like the eBay app built into my brain now, so it's like I get all my notifications. It's like, oh, so, you know, oh shit, the fucking, you know, whatever, chain stitch, embroidery, jacket. Oh, gotta get it.
They must only give you that implant when you're a power seller because I haven't got mine yet. My seller rating's below average, so I won't get them.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm more of a buyer.
Nice.
I am buyer.
So let's get into the beginning, dude. Tell us the story. How did you even get into this business?
Well, shit. I grew up skateboarding, and well, I grew up playing baseball as a kid, and then when my parents split up, I got into skateboarding because my uncles were into skateboarding and like graffiti and like music. This fucking guy's like blow. Can you hear that?
Yeah. Was he blowing leaves around?
I'm on a fucking podcast, guys. No, they cut a tree down, and so now they're like cleaning up.
Mulching it?
It's kind of bad timing. Anyway, so I grew up skateboarding, and then I ended up having like a lot of skate clothes and like skate shoes and like so much shit. All my friends would come over and like they'd like kick it and like you know we'd go skate or whatever, and then they'd like spend the night and they'd be like, oh man, like I need like a new pair of shoes or whatever, and I'd just be like, oh, I got you, you know, like what size? I mean, they were like, you know, 2 sizes my range or whatever. So I'd hook them up.
What era is this? What year?
Shit, this is like probably like 99, early 2000.
How old are you? Are you close to my age?
You never ask a lady. No, I'm not fucking 60.
You qualify. You're old head. How old are you?
Oh yeah. You know, it was funny. Like before you asked me to do this, I was like, oh, this old head, huh? So one old head to another. That's what we are now. No, I'm 35.
35. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're like mid-teens, 99.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in like the late 90s, early 2000s, and so I got into clothes basically like that. And then from there, as far as vintage goes, like my mom and grandma were always going to like thrift stores and like discount like Ross and TJ Maxx and shit like that. So I learned like what like a good deal was. And I'll never forget the first time I found my first tee. It was like this. I still have it. It's so sick. It's like a Batman and Joker, like 90s big like print with like Batman on one side and Joker on the other side with like a lightning bolt in the middle. It's really sick. And I was like 9, and like I found it and I was just like, I mean it wasn't like, I don't even know how I guess it wasn't that old then, it was like 90s.
Yeah.
And so
but that was just cool to you because you were at the age where you appreciated it.
Yeah. And I was like really stoked that it was just there, and like the fact that I was even like looking through this stuff at like such a young age, it was like,
yeah,
I wasn't thinking about it. It was just kind of like fun for me because I really liked going to these thrift stores, and like that was kind of like that's how I grew up. I grew up going to fucking thrift stores.
Did you ever have a real job?
Yeah. In my life?
Yeah.
Of course.
Well, some people haven't. Some people probably like got into this real young and then never worked a real job in their life. Because you're not right now. Like,
no.
We'll get into that, but like, so what kind of jobs did you do in your early years?
Like, I would say my first couple jobs were pretty shitty, and probably like any other job that I have is shitty, and like I guess most jobs. But I started as like a maintenance guy at a golf course, and I would drive around at like 5 a.m. and like do donuts and shit, and like my buddy would like drive to work because he lived up the street, and he got me the job. and he'd come up and like he'd just be like chain smoking at like 5 in the morning. I'm like, what's up? You know, and then like he's like, all right, get in. And I would just like fucking he had like this old school van, like those old vans with like the carpet everywhere, like not like old school, like it was just like one of those family like traveling vans with like the seats that like swivel and shit.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So like every time I'd go in there, it was just like, oh yeah, it's like a big couch, and so I would just take a nap, and like until we got to work.
So that sounds like a wicked job. You get to drive around in a golf cart and do donuts, and then
Well,
you guys go and get high in your buddy's van.
No, I mean I would. He did. I was the stoner guy. I used to be a pretty big stoner, not like hardcore, but I've had my share of stone days.
Nice. So
And like okay, what else? So I worked at like a fucking golf course. I worked at like a car dealership cleaning cars. Worked for like H&M for like way too long. Worked at a movie theater, which was actually pretty dope. It was one in Hollywood called ArcLight Theater. Have you ever been there?
no.
No, they're it's like a big. It's kind of a cool. They were like one of the first ones to do like pick your own seating, and so you pick where you want to sit, and like it costs a little bit more money. So what was cool about that is that a lot of celebrities and like pro skaters and shit would come in, and so like I met like so many like random celebrities and stuff. It was so badass because like I would just be like
one of those theaters that's from the 40s or something, or is this like a new theater?
the what?
Is it like a super old
You know
theater?
what? So the Cinerama Dome is actually one of the like older. If you ever been in Hollywood on, it's like Sunset and Vine basically, and it's like this huge like dome, and so that was there I think since like the late 40s or like early 50s or something, and so they built around that, and they kept it all like pretty original. It's pretty cool. Like I remember meeting like Samuel L. Jackson once, and like I was just like doing my thing, and like I looked up, and this motherfucker is like so tall, and I was like, oh my god, I was like so stoked.
I saw him in the airport once, actually.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I met Quentin Tarantino. I was selling tickets, and it's like it's always the same thing because I'm always like looking down, probably looking at my phone or like not really working, and so like and I was very very stoned at that job. That was actually fun. Yeah, I looked up and it was like Quentin Tarantino, and I was just like, oh hey, how's it going? And like he had the fucking dopest Kill Bill jacket on, dude. That was made for him. It had his fucking name on it. It was so gangster. I was like, nice jacket. He's like, oh yeah, because he's kind of like quirky dude.
What do you remember? What film he was going to see?
No, I don't.
Wonder if he was going to see his own film.
Maybe he owns his own like theater in Hollywood too. It's called Beverly Cinema, and he plays like a lot of his movies there and like really cool shit.
Sweet.
But yeah.
So when did you make
Eric Costin there once? That was dope.
What?
Eric Costin.
Nice.
Yeah, that was like probably the most excited person. Like I was so excited to see him because I wasn't expecting to see him, but like no one else knew who he was because he's like a pro skater. So I was just like, like
I know, dude. Honestly, I still get starstruck when I see dudes like that. Even though it's like, I always tell myself, I'm like, this is so dumb. They're just people. Like, what the hell? But I remember skating by Reynolds one day. He was like having Mexican food on Melrose. And I was like, oh my God, it's Reynolds. He's just chilling.
Yeah. It's like, they're like celebrities for us, dude. Like, I mean, really think about it. Like we watched so many like countless fucking skate videos over and over and over again, and like saw like their personalities and shit, like when they would go on tour and like you'd see all the tour videos, and it's cool to see that because like for me, and I know you too, we're kind of the same type of person, like grew up skating and got into different things, but like we're kind of like we kind of have this is what I tell people. It's like when you're a skater, like you will always be a skater mentality. You will always have that mentality where it's like it's kind of like okay, fuck off, or like you're cool, but yeah, fuck off. You know what I mean? But
and you see things differently. You look at the world a little differently.
Oh, big time. Like
landscapes and the architecture in the cities. And yeah, we grew up at a time when it was still pretty badass. It was like skate or die. skateboarding is not a crime era when like
Oh yeah,
you did get kicked out of everywhere and there wasn't parks you could go to. So
it was very minimal if there was any kind of park.
yeah.
And, that was a cool boom when out here, and probably Canada too, when they started building like cement parks.
Yeah, well, the West Coast in Canada had some early parks back in the 80s, probably, or late 80s, I guess. And then, but they were super hippie style, flowy bowls. But back east where I grew up, we basically had nothing. There wasn't a park, and it until I was probably in my teens, like 15. And then it was just wood ramps on like an asphalt parking lot. You know what I mean? So it took a while back east, but out west they had them, and then I guess through the late 90s, it boomed and they started building parks like crazy. So now there's like so many good ones out here, dude. It's crazy. Super, super sick. So your brother is actually a sick skater, right?
Yeah, he's actually a sick-minded mofo too.
In what regard?
No, he's dope. Like, I mean, we came from that. You know, like we grew up in a big family, like on my mom's side, and my two uncles were like our role models. You know, like they were so badass. Like one was into like old Volkswagens and like graffiti and like art, and then the other was into like graffiti and like music and like skateboarding and like raves and shit. Nice. And so like I got experience to like all of that at a young age, and my mom was like, yeah, like it's fine, as long as he's not like doing anything crazy, like you could take him. And so like, have you ever heard of the Nude Bowl? So it's this empty pool in the desert
in Palm Springs, right?
Yeah, it's like before Palm Springs, and it was at like the old nudist colony, and so it's still there. And
doesn't the story go that at one point they filled it, but then somebody dug it out, right?
Yeah.
Because now it's just at like an abandoned hotel or something weird.
No, it's just it's literally nothing around. It's so fucking cool because it's just dirt, it's whatever, and it's this big empty pool and like a cement slab like where the pool is, and that's it.
Yeah. My friend recently went there because he spent a lot of time in Palm Springs and he did a trip out there. But that thing's like core, right? Like it's hard to skate that bowl.
I mean, it's old. It's old and weathered and shit. But yeah,
also steep ass.
Only the hardest of core dudes could skate it.
So you been there? You used to go out there when you were a kid?
Well, my uncle had a rave there once, and that was like my first rave. But he put it on, and it was rad because. And there's still like footage of me somewhere, like with like a crazy fisheye, like of like my face, and I have like a hat on backwards and stuff, and I'm like the only fucking like 11-year-old at a rave.
Wow, dude.
But like as far as like the clothing goes, I don't know. I've just kind of always been into like clothes and shoes, and then I kind of like from skating I got more into like like the design and or like I got more into like vintage and started appreciating like vintage in a different way. I remember seeing like bands like growing up wearing like vintage tees, and that's kind of like exposed me to like a vintage t-shirt. I was like, damn, that shirt looks fucking cool on this dude. Like, why does he look so fucking sweet, And I was like, oh, okay. It was just like a Chicago Bears tee, but it was just fucked up and it was like faded, and I was like,
a fade, cool. Yeah, totally.
I like this. And then I started going to like vintage stores, and not a lot of people know this about me, but like when I first started, I was living in LA, and like my rent was super high, and I think I had like broke up with my ex or like my girlfriend at the time or something like that, and my rent was expensive, and like I had to like figure out ways to do shit. And so like I used to like go to like this janky like vintage store and basically like just take shit because I was like broke. I was literally broke. And so
and they fucking hood rat, dude.
I don't do that anymore, okay? I learned.
Hope not, yeah.
Anyway, we all got to start somewhere. I wasn't killing people, all right? Okay? This was like all shit that came from around your house anyway, all right?
At least you're being honest, man.
And anyway, so
like, what was this vintage store called?
I can't just, yeah.
Yeah, I figured you'd say that. That's okay.
No, I mean, they're still around, and they probably don't have an Instagram or anything, but anyway.
That era too would have been like the era when there was a lot of there was like Aardvarks and there was Jet Rag.
And it was on Melrose.
There was all these big American Rag, all these big.
That was it.
All these big stores, and there's like chains and they were all getting from rag houses. It was kind of like a monopolized industry through these big dudes, that there wasn't like
yeah.
a lot of like smaller mom and pops. I mean, there probably was a few, but it was just such a different time, man.
Yeah, way different. And I didn't even really experience. I mean, I got to experience some of that in LA. I've been in LA for like maybe 15 years now.
So
I mean,
how did you sell the shit? Were you taking it to sell or just to have?
I probably both. I'd be like, "Fuck, this shirt is sick." I just
Swap out your shirt.
like, yeah, like you know. But
Nice. Oh man.
no, I mean, I think I started selling. I don't know if it was Rosebowl or like I think I posted stuff on like Craigslist, like vintage clothes for sale. Because like I didn't really know about eBay. Like I knew about eBay, but I didn't like sell on there or anything. And like people would randomly hit me up. I found like a Type 2 there, cut off sleeves and with like paint all over the back, and like it kind of looked like shit. And I didn't even know what it was then. Like I didn't know that it was like a good old Levi's jacket or anything.
Did you sell it, or did you?
Yeah, I think I sold it for like $100 or something. I put it on Craigslist.
That's how it goes, man. So when was your first Rose Bowl? What year? Remember?
I don't even know. I want to say at least 10 years ago. Like,
damn, it's a good run, dude.
It's been a minute. Like, and it's funny because like I look at photos of like stuff like when I set up, and it was so weird, and I still kind of set up pretty shitty, but it was just like t-shirts on the ground, like little squares, and actually it kind of looked cool because people were like, no one that I'd seen did this. I've seen this in like pictures in like Thailand and stuff where they fold them in little squares and they like put a blanket down and they put them all down so people can see
Perfect
them.
rows, yeah.
Yeah, and so it was kind of cool because people would walk by and just be like, oh, they'd point and they were buying stuff because there's so much shit at Rose Bowl and like so many racks. It's like unless you're like the hardcore dude and like looking for stuff, you're gonna go through those racks. But like majority of my kind of sales, to be honest, are just regular sales, like just regular like $20 t-shirts and shit.
Yeah.
So it was cool.
We call that that's like the brunch crowd. They roll in at like 10.
Yeah, I like the brunch crowd.
Girls with their moms.
The ones that are like still smell like booze and stuff, and they're like, oh, like you should get this one. Oh, and they're like looking at each other like, okay, and then like they spend money. I miss those days.
Same, dude. Yeah, the Rose Bowl has this ebb and flow. It's like you get the morning rush, which is like a blitz of people going hard first thing, trying to like outdo each other and outpick each other. And then you have like when the sun comes up, there's kind of like a slow period when everyone's
it's like a while. It's like 2 hours usually that it's like super dead.
Yeah. And then the brunch crowd starts rolling in. The hangovers start rolling in. The Daisy Duke girls with their moms start rolling in. And then they start buying the
mom has like a tall can and shit. Yeah.
The big boys.
Moms with tall cans, dude. I'm gonna make a shirt. It just says like moms with tall cans.
That's what's up. It's like they're like cougars, possibly MILFs.
There's definitely a lot of like interesting people to look at Rose Bowl too. Like that's kind of what's really cool about it, is because you get like the out there person, and then you get like the designer kind of interesting person or whatever. You get like the collectors, the resellers. Like there's so many different vibes there, and it's cool to see.
Hell yeah. It is cool, man, and it's inspiring. I used to come. Well, we've been coming to Cali for so many years, like 15 years, and in the beginning it was to go to Rose Bowl, but then it started to evolve into getting inspiration, really, because part of it is getting inspired and seeing what people are doing outside of like your bubble, right? If you live in a city like Vancouver or Midwest or wherever, you get to see so much cool shit there, and people are interesting, dude. It's so true. Like you'll see, I remember seeing Jeremy Scott walking around, and he has like those puffy World War II like flight pants on with the suspenders, because it's like, in the morning too, when the sun comes up, it can get, or before sun comes up, it can get super cold, right? So I guess he just like bought a pair of like flight pants to wear to warm up, and he's walking
Oh,
around.
like the leather one, like
No, not the 40s ones, like
not
the
the shirling
Korea
one.
War that are like
Oh yeah,
puffy.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Oh,
One of my favorite people was like this one guy that would walk around in like a pink dress, and he had like a big mustache and like glasses and like long hair. And I don't know, I really don't. I think he was buying like the same kind of stuff that he wore, but he was so interesting because he had. I mean, like it's I don't judge, but and it was great like to see
yeah.
him like do his thing. But like the craziest part about it is that like he would have like this, and we would call him princess because he would always have like this princess dress on, and it was like so interesting. And
Was
he
he
would
a seller or just a? Just,
no, he was like a guy that would go and buy, and he would wear we call them Payless shoes. Did you guys have Payless shoes in Canada?
yeah, yeah, totally, totally.
So like the Velcro strap, like the gray Velcro strap fucking Payless shoes. Those
Dude,
were the shoes that he wore, and
that's
it
legit.
was like it blew my mind because he was it was just such an interesting person, and
You remember what kind of shit this
big
guy was
long
buying?
dress like with fucking Velcro strap Payless shoes.
Wow. Dude, those are kind of dope. I might have to get a pair of those Velcro.
I
What's some good memories besides this guy in the dress from Rosebowl, man? You've been doing
from
it for 10
Rosewell.
years.
I mean, anytime I'd see you, you'd have like your skate or something. And that was cool. I remember like trying to grab your board one time, and I actually
Yeah,
pulled something out of my ass. That was cool.
you did a tray flip, I remember.
Uh, yeah.
I think you weren't wearing proper footwear as well. You were wearing like boots or something, maybe.
I don't know. Maybe. Oh, I'll tell you something. The craziest trick I've ever done on a skateboard, though, and I don't know if you've ever done it. You may have. I know maybe some of your friends have in Canada because you guys snowboard a lot. But I went snowboarding one time and I did a fucking tray flip in snowboarding boots.
Nice,
That's
dude.
dude. I don't even know. Like those boots weighed more than I did at the time.
Those things are pretty clunky, pretty heavy, dude. I'm sure I've tried that at some point. I don't know if I've ever done it. Today's actually, speaking of snowboarding, I got to buy my season pass today if I'm going to buy it for the season. They have a cutoff. And it's getting so weird right now because with COVID,
Mm-hmm.
they're like, if you buy a pass, now you have to book your days. You used to be able to just show up at the mountain with your pass and go up the lift. Now they're saying you have to sign up to get the day you want to go ride, which is fucking weird.
Uh huh.
So I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna buy a pass this year. So I'm on the fence, dude. I'm on the fence.
Yeah, I wish I got more into snowboarding. I was more just like skating. My brother though, he got really good at snowboarding and skating.
So tell me, what's your brother's name? We never even mentioned it.
His name's Dolan Stearns, and his Instagram is Sorry Entertainer.
So is he still crushing skating?
Yeah, I mean, what's cool about him and what people like about him is that he does him. Like he doesn't give a fuck about anybody's opinion or whatever. Like he's just like, I'm gonna do me.
Yeah.
Like he skates for fun. You know what I mean? And like even like pros and like stuff, like think about it, like pros that like have had to like go through their career like having to prove themselves by to their company. Like the company expects so much out of these skaters. Like you got to get footy, you got to get photos, you do this, you got to go to demos and then all this shit, right? And he's just kind of been like, it's like I don't know, it's not like it's like how skateboarding used to be or supposed to be.
How it should be, really.
Well, yeah, how it should be. And I've seen that change like in skating too. Like I see people having like more fun, I guess. Like not, I mean,
And you know what's cool is
side,
people are appreciating that more, I think. The guys that are just having fun and they're more creative and they're doing interesting stuff versus like trying to do 50 stair handrails all the time,
Oh yeah.
Like Nigel or somebody where it's like he's just out there going crazy, which I appreciate all the skating, to be honest, because I'm just a skate, snowboard, surf nerd. But I like seeing the real creativity. Like is your brother hooked up and is he just strictly doing it for?
Yeah. Like as far as like a board company, I don't know if he's like really on a board company right now. He was like on a low key like San Diego like local company called Lurkville, and they were cool. It was kind of like a tight little knit there, and so people in San Diego, like like the way it is in California and Southern California, it's like skateboarding basically evolved in San Diego, Orange County, and LA. That was like and like Venice Beach and shit.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, he rides for like Converse and Independent, OJ Wheels.
Are you guys from San Diego?
No, we're from the Inland Empire,
What's
which is
that?
like that's the 909 boy. You
909.
know about that?
That's
I know the 909. Yeah, huh? Piefer?
Yeah, Piefer.
Yeah, I know Piefer. I know dude. I know everyone. Okay,
There's a big Inland Empire crew, dude.
I'm one of the OG IE boys. Okay,
Nice.
but
You guys got a posse, dude. Gang shit.
yeah, gang. But no. What about
So,
you? What's up with you?
what's up with me?
Talk about you. It can't just be
You know
about.
what? No, it's not about me. It's about you, man.
It's about Drew.
What do you want to know about me?
I mean,
I talk about myself all the time.
oh, do you? I don't know. I was watching like one of your podcasts, and like I like it when you guys like subtly like throw in like, yeah, I sold this for like that.
Oh, you want to talk about something? Okay,
No,
well,
no. But
talk about it.
yeah,
What do you got?
I did like I made like 70,000 off like 2 Aladdin teas.
When have I ever thrown in that? I've never thrown that.
Dude, I have all
Oh.
the Aladdin gear from 1990, whatever that movie came out. I have all of it. I have the all over
Dude.
G-string.
Hey, we better not tell anybody your address because you're gonna get jumped, dude. Have you ever sold an Aladdin tea?
No,
Have you passed an Aladdin tea in like when you've been picking and you're like, fuck this?
no. I mean, I would have grabbed that.
Yeah, okay.
Only if it was, single stitch, dude.
Well, yeah, come on. We got to talk about a beef. Rose Bowl. I don't know if it's even a Rose Bowl beef, but I remember there was a beef between you and Tara.
Who?
Thrift Lord.
Oh, I don't really speak of him or say his name, so.
He who must not be named?
No, I mean, like, there's no need for me to even talk about him because, like, I don't want to go to that level. You know what I mean?
Why? We can't talk about the beef? It's the beef. Everyone loves a
beef?
good beef.
I forgot what the beef was. Oh, okay. This was the beef. He was like doing the raffles and stuff. And so like people now, like, everyone's trying to up one another,
What up?
So like,
What up, midship?
yeah, everyone's just trying to like, be on top or something, and like that's never been my thing really at all. Maybe when I was younger, like, like I wanted to be the coolest dude or something, but like I don't fucking care. Anyway,
That's 100% my motivation.
what?
I want to be the coolest dude.
Well, I don't need to want to be. I already am. Do you see the difference?
True.
I have no
it's
need
just
to-
effortless for you.
Sorry, guys.
Okay, back to the beef.
Okay. Anyway, I posted like a Reservoir Dogs tee, and I put like a raffle up for it, and I had never done a raffle, and it was actually my home. It was my homie's tee, but I found it for him 2 years prior to that or whatever, and he's like, oh, I don't wear it or whatever, and I said, okay, I'll try to like raffle it off. And I mean, what's funny now is because nowadays it's probably worth like, fucking, I don't know, $8,000.
Yeah, dude.
9,500.
Down payment on a house.
Ugh, we'll get into the value thing in a minute, but it is funny to me. But anyway, I had it up there. The value X amount of, like people to enter the raffle, right? And it ended up being like $400 for a Reservoir Dogs tee, which I thought actually, to me, I thought a Reservoir Dogs tee was pretty sick. It was single stitch. So I'm just saying.
So you raffled it, but then
I raffled it, and then he like reposted it on his Instagram saying like, if you're gonna raffle something, you need to do it like the way that it's supposed to be done. This shirt might be like worth like $200, and I'm like, dude, what do you? And I hit him up, I'm like, what are you doing? Like putting me on blast, like for what reason? Like, this is none of your business. Like, it's like the thing I didn't like about him, and like I don't deal with him, or like I've bought things from him before because he was in LA for a little while, but I could give a fuck. I care less, whatever. But during that time, I was just like, even then, I was like, what's the like, what are you doing? Like, why are you even like putting that out there right now? Like, because you want attention. So like, you're gonna fucking repost the Vintage Warrior is putting a t-shirt on raffle that's like worth more than it is because I say that it's like not worth $400. And I'm like hitting him up. I'm like, why does it matter? Like, this has nothing to do with you, like. And so from there, he was just like talking shit. And then so from at that point, the fact that he was like came at me like that, it was more like a disrespect. Like, it was disrespectful the way he came at me like that. And it was like, dude, you could have messaged me if you wanted to like talk about it. You didn't have to like repost it. And he like crossed my thing out, but like people knew who it was coming. Like they knew where it was coming from, and it was like, because I'm the fucking warrior, dude. Okay.
The Lord versus the Warrior.
Yeah,
dude, the beef in the fucking ring.
He would have killed me. He's a big dude. I'm a little guy, but my brain is bigger than his. So like, I mean, he's smart.
Sometimes it's more speed, man. You probably got speed on him.
Pretty fast.
I remember that beef, and I remember it.
I give him props for him doing his business, and like that's cool, and that's great. I think it's awesome. But
yeah,
the way that he had came at me and has came at people was more of just like there's no need to like step that line, like don't fucking like, I don't have a problem with you, but if you want to cross the line, it's like now I have a problem with you, it's like. And I like to avoid that shit. Like, that's not my style. I don't like drama.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Fair enough. Neither do I. But it makes for good podcasting. So that's why we're talking about it.
Oh, okay.
Okay. But I remember that, and I remember it blowing up, and I remember there was like this ongoing, like, stupid petty beef thing between you guys for a while at the bowl, because he was still at the bowl for a while after that. But anyway, that's a good topic to get into, because him and 1980 started the raffle thing. Well, actually, I don't know who started the raffle thing. Anyway,
Thrift Lord, okay? Don't get it wrong. He'll come at you.
Well,
okay?
he coined the raffles, promoting it the Thrift Lord way, and then people were doing raffles. They're like, "I'm doing it the Thrift Lord way."
Yeah.
That's what it was. And then,
because you know why? They didn't want to get called out. That's why.
Probably, yeah. They're like, I don't want to go down like
dude,
the way the Vintage Warrior got called out. Like, so it was mad funny, and you're right. It's because the method of raffling was that you put a value and then you only sell as much slots to the value. But I did raffles before that on Frankie, right? Not different. Like we did raffles for like designer clothes and stuff on Frankie, and we did it through the website. So we just put up a listing with a $5 price, and we sold as many as people would buy. Like, we didn't put a fucking limit on it. We were like, if 150 people want to buy this raffle, we're going to sell it, because for them, the person buying it can still win something sick for $5, right?
Oh yeah.
But his way was like to put the value on it and then limit the amount of entries or whatever. Yeah, and it's funny now. I haven't seen a raffle go down in like months now.
That's the thing too, is that it's just trendy. Like, do you want to be trendy? Like, you know what I mean? It's like it's
trends. It's like, it's not just that the clothing have trends. The way we sell the clothes has a trend now.
And it moves, and it moves much faster at a much faster rate. And a lot of it has to do with like technology and whatever. And so it's cool. Like I like what Chris does, because like he's bringing like people that are new to this, and even people that are not new to this, and actually like gaining interest and understanding, like trying to understand like what the fuck is happening.
It's educating too. He's helping spread awareness about vintage. He's also helping all these other sellers make money, but he's also, all the people that watch, it's like an educational thing, because now they can understand why something is valued.
Yeah,
even though
yeah.
the value is still kind of
No,
fucked up.
that's kind of iffy though, because it's like, what is it based off? Someone's opinion, or like the rarity? Like, what's the rarity of like this tea versus this tea? Like this fucking tea, there was like 300,000 of them made. How rare is this tea? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Maybe like the Nirvana heart-shaped box tea, there was only 100,000 made, and there's like 500,000 made of like the fucking whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so it's like,
What I mean by the education is like they know that they know that this is different than like one that they can buy at the mall now. You know what I mean? At least that education is
sure.
getting out there. It still blows my mind that say like, yeah, random 2008 movie tee is going for $500-600. And to speak on that topic too, like I just had a private appointment to sell some wholesale tees, and like I sold all these horror tees that were like from 2011, 2010,
Uh-huh.
2009. They're cool movies, but they're not the original shirts, and those shirts are going for big money now. It's crazy. It's only 10 years old.
Yeah, and I saw that coming, and like I've heard, I've talked to people where it's like, I have to start buying like early 2000 shit. And it went from like, I got to buy early 2000 shit like maybe a couple years ago to like, oh shit, everything fucking just went to here now. And it's
Yeah.
like, I mean, maybe because of the whole COVID thing, like it really is fucking with everyone's minds, like it really is. And also, I'm just gonna get into it really quick, but spending that kind of money on like a T-shirt or whatever is crazy. But if you think about it, it's like who's spending that money, and where's that money coming from, and do they have bills? Like do they live with their parents, and where's that money? What where's the $3,000 into the one shirt like coming from? And like how often are they buying a T-shirt for $3,000?
Wow.
And like the whole $6,000 T-shirt thing, that goes along the same lines as my Reservoir Dogs tee I put for $400 value. It's like maybe to him it was $200, but to me it was $400. To this guy it's like $600. Now the fucking Reservoir tee might be like $800 or 1,000 or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So it's like it's just kind of funny, to see like where the market moves and like where it goes. And like, I know like between the both of us, like we're observant and we pay attention, but like we're also like trying to figure out, not necessarily like how can I take this to my advantage, but it's like, where is it going to go from here? And how can I prep for that?
Yeah, you have to stay a little bit up to date, man. Like I talk to younger guys in the market and I ask what's going on, and like I don't know prices
You're
anymore.
still young. Come on.
I can't fucking keep up to date with the prices. Nobody can, man. The shit's changing every day right now.
But the thing about the Aladdin tea, and this has nothing against like the raffling or the fucking virtual flea or nothing like that. I think that's great. I think that was like a publicity stunt. Like people don't think outside of the box, and those people do. They're like the ones that are like creating.
Show,
They're
yeah.
creating the market is what they're doing. They're manipulating the market and they're creating it. And so they're taking like say, okay, this shirt sells. And what was funny is that like oh show the screenshot of like the payment and shit. It was like people were like show the screenshot of the payment of the 6Gs. And so like the homie like whatever put the fucking 6Gs. It's like a tactic, it's like chess game and business techniques and shit, which is cool. Sure. It's really cool.
It's a level of market manipulation.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, this is your hypothesis on the situation. If it is or it isn't, who knows?
Okay. Yes. Okay. Go ahead.
I mean, I just don't. I mean, like.
No, I'm not. That's what I said. That's what I said even before I said anything. I said this is no disrespect. This has nothing to do with anyone personal or nothing.
Yeah, totally. And it's definitely a valid theory because people have done it in the past, and if they can manipulate the market to make prices rise, it's good for good for them. It's good for everyone else who's selling T-shirts, man.
Sure. But the thing is, okay, so say something sells for $6,000. Think about like, the rap tee phase, which is still a good phase. Like, like obviously the really hard to find rap tees are dope and worth money. But then it was like art tees and movie. Now it's like, movie tees and shit. And now it's like Disney. And say something sells for $6,000. It's like realistically, no one's gonna fucking spend that kind of money on a Disney tee, right? Really, like unless they're just stupid and rich, which could be the case. But that brings that $6,000 here to this tee used to be $200, for example, whatever tee, right? Now it's $6,000. So it's basically taking that and trying to like put it here. You know what I mean? And so they're trying to like bring in like take that margin and like put it in the middle. So like, I mean, $6,000 is ridiculous. Like it kind of, it just is. Like you can't even find like a fucking, I mean, like old Levi's, they'll sell for like more than like $50,000 or whatever, $100,000 for certain things. But I'm not saying,
okay. So
not saying that like, this particular item isn't valuable, but like, it may be valuable to that person, but like, the $6,000 tee fucking made the vintage community lose their fucking minds. Even people that like, you don't deal with 90s shit or t-shirts or whatever, like people that deal with like, real vintage clothes. Like,
well, you want to know the best example of that is, we're going to get off this t-shirt topic in a second, but
no, it's fine.
Example of
but
that,
I did want to talk about it.
Yeah. Is, Goodbye Heart. He was like posting his come up of like Disney Pixar tees. He got like a big
all the Bugs Life
I'm
shit.
like Goodbye Heart is out there selling Levi's, selling East West jackets, selling hippie fashion. He's like from San Fran or something, or Seattle.
Yeah.
But anyway, typically he's selling true vintage stuff, and then all of a sudden it's like, I got a big lot of Disney Pixar.
Dead stock tees that are worth $800 now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, like you're gonna milk that fucking cow, until that cow runs dry. You know what I mean? Right?
Yeah.
I mean, I have some bangers. I have like I said, I have the all over print Aladdin Manthon.
Stanley DeSantis.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about prices then for a second. Okay, you're right. It's hard to find anything that's worth $6,000. Even in true vintage, it's hard to find something worth $6,000. Yes, there's very rare Levi's that go for up to like $50,000, $100,000. I've never found them. You probably haven't found them. It's hard. So what's the most you've sold like a true vintage piece for?
Shit. I don't know, maybe like $2,000.
Yeah, okay.
I paid 200, but I knew that it was gonna go for at least a G, and I sold it for 2, so that was cool. But like I look at it like in other ways, like it's like I find something for $1 and I sell it for 400. Like to me, that's the same thing. It's like that margin is like sky high.
But you also buy, so I don't really know your sourcing. You're obviously not going to tell us how obviously if you go to a thrift store, it's whatever, but
yeah, I don't
probably buy from dealers, you buy from wholesalers, you buy from thrift stores, you can probably buy from wherever you do, right?
Yeah.
And do you typically look for that kind of margin, or are you happy to like pay up on less margin product?
What do you mean? Like if
would you pay 100 to make 200?
Not really. No.
Okay.
Like I need to know that like when I see an item, I need to know that this is going to sell, and I need to know that it's going to sell for what I'm going to ask for, basically. Yeah. And so, obviously, like everyone wants to get it the less they can, but like if I see potential in an item, say it's like a blank T-shirt, right? But it's like a really good 1950s military blank T-shirt. I buy it for 20, I sell it for like 75 or whatever. And that's like based off of like my following or something, where it's like someone that, can appreciate this 1950s era T-shirt and spend that amount.
So,
but,
okay, we haven't even talked about this. So you are basically you know, something I admire about you, you stay pretty true to what you like, and you like true vintage, you like Americana, you like military stuff. You know, I see you post like cool denim pieces, you know, sometimes like interesting like folk arty things, but also like some things that are haggard. But you don't tend to have too much stuff that's like really fucked up. But you like a true vintage vibe, right? So like what do you think, what's your like true interest? Like what gets you hyped? Like what are you stoked to find and stoked to look for?
There's so many different things that I like. You know, like I said, I grew up skating and stuff in like the 90s, like late 90s, early 2000s. And so like I still get hyped on like a Stussy tee or like, you know, like some dope fucking 90s skate shit. But
Yeah.
like, you know, as I evolved and like started to learn more about vintage clothes, you know, I started to appreciate different things. And so, you know, you know, I look at like small details. You know, I look at like the design or like the purpose of like the garment.
So
Um,
functionality.
yeah, functionality. You know, colors, materials. Like I just nerd out. You know, like I, it's kind of like an obsession, really. Like you know, I got like more more into it as I you know every year, every month, it's like something different. It's like oh, and you know, like I'm like I'm a collector at heart. And so like you know that's like my passion is like is a collector, and not so much selling but also like interaction with people and stuff. And so that's like what I miss about like being at the Rose Bowl, is because like I was more into conversation and you know
Yeah.
maybe learning something from somebody or educating somebody on something, you know what I mean? Like that was cool. But like I don't know, like you know, I have like a personal taste that I like, and it's very similar to like what like the Japanese buy, you know, like those buyers. And so like you know, like I can't afford like crazy old denim, and I live in SoCal where that denim might exist, but it's you know, it's not like you don't find old workwear, old barns and shit. Like there's fucking millions of people in this Southern California, and it's like they've come and gone, and so like a lot of that shit is just you know like super scarce, right?
I mean, but come on, if you're gonna find it anywhere, it's Levi's is from San
Yeah,
Francisco,
I know.
you know.
They find it. They you know known bad boy and fucking afterlife and shit. And they don't fuck around, dude.
And do you know the guys? I got Polo out of San Diego.
Yeah.
I was at the ball, and his crew have been doing those
No,
house.
I know. I know.
Yeah, they've been finding stuff. I
They
mean,
found
not
it
nothing.
today. Do you see what they found today?
No, what they find today?
Well, I don't think Polo was there, but they found like a masked tee or whatever. Like,
Oh,
sorry, dude. I was just trying to get you hyped. I
I
mean,
thought you were gonna tell me like some stick back or something. You tell me the mask tee. No, that's crazy. I did buy that Rob Roskopf shirt off one of those guys that they found in the house.
dude, they've been finding so much shit. Like,
Yeah,
it's dope,
so rad.
and
So
it's
rad.
been like in the desert and stuff, which is pretty cool. Like they'll go and drive like 2 hours away, which in reality 2 hours away is not that bad. And like the people are like traveling like hundreds and hundreds of miles and to
Yeah,
go on vintage, you know. And
totally. Okay, I want to drop some knowledge on this episode. I want to talk about the stuff. So you have a pile of clothes behind you, right?
yep,
Okay, so I want you to show us some stuff because this is a podcast. Some people
got
will
it.
be listening. I'm going to kind of describe what it is, and then we're just going to talk about it.
Okay,
Why
tell
you
me
like?
what it is. You tell me what it is, and then I'll talk about it because
Okay,
I know that you already know. So
you're
like, that's no
testing me.
problem.
You're
Huh?
testing. You're
Yeah,
testing me. Okay,
yeah.
let's go.
This is about Drew now. All right, ready?
Yeah,
So we got what is I don't know. Can you see it?
Universal. Okay.
Do you know anything about that?
Well, it's like a
Jacket.
workwear. It's a workwear coat. So this is probably like a wool thing. Oh no, you're gonna show us your skating jacket. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Corduroy, right? It's kind of hard to see the fabric, but you can see it's corduroy.
No excuses, but okay.
Okay, so this is
Okay.
a
You want to see the zipper? Can you see it? It's
Talon,
brass. Starts with a T.
brass Talon zip.
Uh-huh.
It's got chain stitching on the back, which is from a roller rink, Troy's Roller Dome, Little Rock. Is that like Arkansas or something?
Yes.
Yeah, see, I even knew that.
Good
So
job, Canadian guy.
this is basically a jacket that they would have bought, and then probably like some local town shop would have embroidered it for them as like a uniform for the roller rink.
Okay, keep going.
Um,
Yeah, that's
what
pretty good.
I don't know. That's all I got. What do you got?
Okay, let me break some knowledge to you now.
Okay.
So this brand, Universal Uniform Co. I don't know. You know the FFA jackets.
Yeah, totally.
So this is the same company that made those jackets, and so it was basically like a mail order kind of thing, or like they would get in touch with this Universal Uniform Co. and they would say, hey, we need our name, with the roller skate or whatever, our roller rink on a jacket.
Ah, okay.
And so they would, and if you look at it closely, it's all the same. It's the same manufacturer as those jackets, those FFA jackets.
Yeah, and for people that are unfamiliar with the FFA jackets, that's like a farm club thing, right?
Yeah, Future Farmers of America.
Yeah, and they made those jackets all the way back probably to like
Oh, dude, like
turn
30s,
of the century. Yeah,
or something.
up until like you can even find them up to like the 70s.
Yeah,
right?
And no, even later than that. Yeah, they still make them. But
So,
anyway,
yeah,
so that's pretty cool, right?
totally. That's a sticker.
Yeah, and so I have two other ones like that, different colors. But what's cool about it is that like normally the FFA jackets are bright blue and they're really nice. But to see basically like an FFA jacket, the corduroy in a different color, because in retrospect, that's kind of what it is, because normally it would have the symbol and the FFA and like the state.
Yeah, totally.
This is different.
And like you said, that's universal uniforms, and I have had so many different kinds of garments on those tags.
Mm-hmm.
It was probably, like you said, in a magazine that you like had an order form or something, and people knew that you could like order your club stuff through it.
Yeah,
so they probably did.
like sportswear stuff.
Yeah.
Like you would hit up Champion and be like, I need 500 PE t-shirts made or whatever.
Super cool.
So here's a good one.
Beck, Northeaster. This is a Sports Hogs jacket. Oh, dude, you got some good stuff, dude. Northeaster Flying Togs, genuine horsehide. Beck. Show the jacket. So this is a D-pocket motorcycle jacket. Early 40s, maybe even 30s, correct?
Yep. Late 40s. Early 40s.
Early 40s, yeah. Super nice. What zipper you got on there?
Yeah, well, see, that's the thing. So look at it and tell me why it looks like
that's like a 70s Talon, so that's like a replaced zip.
Uh-huh.
And but it has the original zip on the D pocket. And people that are listening, a D pocket is literally a pocket that's shaped like a D. That's why, and it's a hand.
Yeah, or also it was called the pistol pocket. So you would hold your pistol in there.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
I did not know that, dude. Dropping knowledge.
Yeah, pretty cool. So this is
super nice jacket, horsehide. So
yep.
A little fact about horsehide was like back from the turn of the century, well, probably even 1800s, up until like the 40s, into the 50s even, they made a lot of jackets out of horsehide. Apparently, because when cars became popular, they were killing off a lot of horses because people started to drive instead of ride horses. So they had a ton of horses and a ton of horse.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Oh fuck.
So that's why a lot of it was made with horsehide, because they had an influx of it. Plus, it's a thicker hide, it's more durable, lasts longer. And then I think basically after that, I don't know, like we don't eat horse in America, right? So if you have a horsehide jacket, like with cow leather, you're eating the cow and you're taking the leather, right? But like you don't get horsehide unless that horse is like just gone and died.
Sure. Yeah.
So we don't really make stuff out of horsehide anymore unless it's
I know they do in Japan though. They make like reproduction like bukos and like this style.
Yeah. And some countries do eat horse, like they eat horse in Europe, right?
Yeah. So
we just don't in America.
Yeah, fuck America.
Dude. The vegans are rolling right now.
I do have a quick question though. Like, how do I move to Canada? Because I fucking and can we marry as a gay couple or something? And like,
I'm already married, dog, but I'll set you up. Don't worry.
Oh, okay.
I got a lot of friends.
I want him to be as cute as you though. Okay. All right, here we go. Ready?
Next one. Let's go. Okay. Charlie Brown. Let me guess the tag. Spruce mayo.
Oh no, it's Disney, Aladdin.
Okay.
Yep, you got it.
So we got the spruce tag, spruce mayo tag. This is, if my dates are correct,
Yeah, let's see. You see the percentage? See that
60s
percent?
era.
It's 90% cotton and 10% polyester.
You're showing. It's not on screen.
bad.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. The green one's kind of rare, eh? Like usually you see those in like
It is.
yellow and stuff. Dude, the green's sick. Is that your size?
Yeah.
Yeah. These are super popular. You know what's so funny? The Lenny episode, he said the first thing he ever sold Snappy was that sweatshirt.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's how they met.
That's awesome. But did you see the condition though?
It's like fucking mint.
It's dead stock.
Yeah. So guaranteed kids will pass that up in the bins for sure.
Well, I mean, this yellow one that I got, let me just grab it really quick. But I have like a mustard yellow one that I got from somebody that found it at the bins. And I got it for fucking cheap. But it's good. It's good.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of the color I see more often. That's a cool one with the baseball. How can we lose when we're so sincere? So this is a Charlie Brown sweatshirt. We call that the raglan sleeve, where the sleeve goes right up to the neckline.
Mm-hmm.
That's also on a spruce tag. Were they all on spruce tag?
Look at the difference, though. Let's see if I can show you. Hold on. Here we go.
Yeah, there. That's better. Oh yeah. So the one on the yellow one's older, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the green one is basically like 1970 or something, or like 69 or something like that. And then the 100% cotton, I think, is like, anywhere from like 66 to like, I don't know, 68 or something like that.
Yeah. Those are really cool. And I don't know. I mean, they're obviously popular just because it's like pop culture from a long, long time ago, but it's hard to find any sweats that aren't just school prints from back. Oh, I guess like what would you get on a sweatshirt back in the day? You get military print, school print. That's like basically it.
Yeah.
You're going back to like the 40s or before, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So that might be why those ones got so popular, because it's when they started printing other things. If you look at t-shirts and sweatshirts, those were both garments made for working out or for doing something athletic. They were not made for wearing day to day, which
not as a fashion. Basically.
Yeah.
It was more
and
fun.
now it's like everybody's staple thing, a sweatshirt and a t-shirt.
Mm-hmm.
So while we're on the topic of sweatshirts, show the sweatshirt. You have an overhood?
Oh, you want to see that? I guess. I mean, it's one of my favorite pieces. And talking about military, this is actually a really good example.
Nice.
So this is the back. And so I don't know if you're familiar with this academy, but
that's the Marine Corps thing, right?
I'm not sure if it's Marine or Army, but it's like military academy, and I think it's in Missouri. But it's like they call it the West Point of the West, or I forgot. I did a little bit of research, but anyway, so this is like it has the double V, and it's the after hood.
So basically we're looking at an after hood sweatshirt. The hood's sewn on over top of the crew neck collar. This has a double V, so a V in the front neck, a V in the back neck. It's got a back print, which is typical of that era. It's usually a back print, not a front print when it comes to older sweatshirts, which is weird.
Why is that?
I don't know why, man. But it's weird because...
So this is like a stencil military, identification number or something.
Yeah, crazy. Because people would think that's a date, but that's not the date. Because it says
Yeah, I
1907.
know. I've had that comment before.
Yeah.
These trippy
This
pockets.
is super nice. And also the ribbing on old sweatshirts is one of the telltale signs. That's like a 6-inch rib, eh?
Yeah. No, it's like 4, but that's
Okay.
really long.
Fat rib, yeah.
I think it's like late 30s, early 40s.
Yeah. Beautiful hoodie, man. Beautiful hoodie.
This one's pretty cool. This is a like 1960s pennies in like excellent condition.
Yeah, this is a white crew neck sweatshirt, pennies tag.
A bunch of like details, like hand drawn.
Yeah, So this was probably something somebody wore to school, and they decided to make like a folk arty piece out of, and all the friends drew all over it.
Mm-hmm. Or
Um,
just one. It looks like one person did it.
yeah, maybe it's just one person. So this is probably just like a fun art project.
Yeah.
But speaking about these folk arty drawn on pieces, back in the 30s or 20s, 30s, 40s, when you graduated from school, people used to use corduroy pants and they would draw all over them, eh?
Well, that was just with Purdue. So
Just
that
with
was,
Purdue?
I'm pretty sure. I mean, other schools did it, but they were like one of the ones that like started that. And so there was like these yellow corduroys that, um, what do they call them? I forget what they call that pant, but even I don't know if they did it in the. Did you say in the 30s? Is that what you said?
Yeah. Or was it
I
earlier?
don't know about that, but like I don't know how long Purdue did that, but Purdue did this thing. Like I know like the majority of the corduroy pants were like this yellow corduroy pant, and everybody like they would draw on them, and they were really fucking badass, dude. Those are so cool,
Yeah.
and they're super valuable. Not compared to Aladdin tea, though, of course. But anyway,
Yeah, no, they are. Those are really
that
cool.
was like a thing in the 60s, but in like the 30s, I know for sure there was a lot of like signature jackets, and so it's like like a yearbook. So everybody would like comment or like write their name. There was also ones that, and you've seen them, I'm sure, like the embroidery signature ones, which is really cool because it's like I feel like maybe what they did is like they would say like, oh, here, take my jacket for like a little bit, and sew your signature into the jacket, and then they would like pass it around. So it's kind of neat.
I wish I had a garment with all the cool shit my high school class said to me like when I left school. That'd be way cooler.
Yeah, like
all the time.
yeah, it'd be like eat a dick, or like like all the funny shit, like all your close
it's like,
friends would say.
Drew, remember when we got high behind the fucking gym?
Yeah,
that was awesome.
This is a cool one. This is another sweat. It's like a kid size, but this is like a 40s, and it's on the old Duracraft, which was like old Champion. Hold on a second.
So it is old Champion, or it's like
yeah, it is.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Duracraft is old Champion.
So that's like a sub-label Champion made?
I don't know the full.
Duracraft knitwear. Okay. Well, you know what's funny? Do you have this book yet? Speaking of Champion. So
yeah, I got that.
I'm going to shout this out right now on the podcast. This is a book that Tags and Threads made. It says right there, published by Tags and Threads, featuring 850 vintage Champion products contributed by over 200 collectors from around the world. We have a few pieces in this. Super sick book. You can order it through Tags and Threads. I'll tag him. But if you guys, when we're speaking about true vintage, this is a good way to get yourself some knowledge.
Here's one that isn't in that book.
Oh, nice. It's in the book?
That isn't. This might be, but not with this label.
So what's the label?
It's like the late 60s one.
Yeah, and that's sick to notice too. That has the name patch. So there's a tag where you're supposed to write your name, which is would be like a plain sewn in canvas tag, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that comes on mostly military stuff. Obviously, the same reason you put it on when you go to camp. So when it comes back to you from the wash, they know who to give it to. And that thing has a crazy big V, eh?
I love that you said A, finally. Fuck. I've been waiting for that.
Well, there you go, buddy. You're welcome.
Oh, but hey, so this one's actually pretty wild because I don't know if you can tell, but do you see this
two-tone, yeah.
It's different colors than the whole sweatshirt.
That's so right. So basically, that
Can you explain that?
goes to show you that this garment is so not about fashion that they're like, fuck, we ran out of fabric. Let's just throw another arm on from different fabric.
And and which I didn't know. Yeah, but this V is actually kind of gnarly. Like, look how fucking, I didn't even notice how big it was, but.
It's a fat V.
Yeah, gotta love the V. He wants the V instead of he
It's
wants
a fat V.
Instead of he.
Huge V.
Instead of she wants the D, he wants the V, and that's the V right there.
Oh, that's hilarious, David.
Anyway, here's a cool one. So I've been kind of getting into these.
Nice. Yeah, sick, classic.
So this is like the Harvey Ball.
Is that the original Happy Face?
Yeah.
I don't know. I heard something about the Happy Face, the original. It's like one eye's different than the other eye. That's how you know if it's an original.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is basically a typical yellow smiley Happy Face tee, ringer, spruce T-shirt. But yeah, to tell the originals, the eyes are different shape.
So I collect all over print bucket hats,
Nice.
and this is like a dead stock, probably 70s champion spark plug, like all over print hat. But yeah, I collect those. Have you? I know you've seen these. This is like a 1950s like pajama.
It's a pajama.
I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
At first glance, I was like, "Is that a prison uniform?"
Well, that's kind of the idea, but
Oh yeah, cool.
it's got like the. You've never seen these?
The heart is original.
Yeah, it's like a pocket too.
Oh, cool. Yeah, this is like looks like a prison uniform, black and white stripe with a heart pocket.
Dude, I have so much
Hey,
shit.
show me
I'm
after
just
this.
showing you a couple things.
Yeah, sure. Go for it.
No, go ahead. What?
Oh, show. So you still got a couple things on your bed. What's on your bed?
So because you wanted to talk about like true vintage stuff. There's like
You got a mad stack of sukajans, which is the Japanese term for Japan jacket, souvenir jacket. So these jackets are jackets that the military men who were stationed in Japan would buy from these shops as like a token of their time they spent in Japan during World War II.
and
Is that right by your knowledge?
yeah.
And they're reversible, these jackets. So a lot of them have like a felt side or what's it called? The material? Not felt.
Sateen is what they call it, I think.
Sateen. So it's like a fuzzy side and then like
It's basically like silk.
a silk side. Yeah.
Don't forget about the kids though.
Oh, sick. Dad and son combo. These are Okinawa ones, got the sick tigers on them. And then there's most of them these were from Japan. You can find some that were from like Guam or other interesting like South Pacific places, right?
Yeah, those are rare.
Those are rare. And there's also even some that were from Germany and different places like that.
Okay.
But the
tell you.
best ones are Alaska or the weird stations.
Yeah.
Because people would have been I don't know if they made them there, but they would have been stationed there and then had them made in Japan.
See that's the thing is that like almost all like the sateen like souvenir jackets that are like embroidered with different countries and stuff, they usually are made in Japan, the jacket itself. And so I don't know that yet. I'm actually still trying to figure that out, but
It makes sense.
I came up one time fat on Depop once, and this was like before Depop kind of blew up. I don't know, maybe like 4 years ago or something. But I found two dead stock Sukajan Iceland jackets. Like,
Two of them?
Two of them, dead stock.
So dope.
Fucking amazing, dude.
Yeah.
I think I bought them for like, she wanted like 90 a piece. I got them for like 70 or like 140 shipped. So it was nothing for both.
Nothing, dude.
And I think I sold one for like 600, and then I sold the other one for like 800, like the next month to the same guy.
Which is pretty fair. Like I think I've gotten up to 1,500 for the Alaska one.
Yeah, I mean, did it have the stuff on the sleeves and all that?
Yeah.
You
So the Alaska one is sick because one side is a bear. It's like a grizzly bear that's super gnarly, and then on the sleeve it has a dog sled team on each sleeve.
Yeah.
And the other side, I forget, but I think there's a version with an eagle and like, there's all different ones, but they're super cool.
They're really neat. But yeah, I don't know about, I have like just so much shit, but I wanted to remind you of this one because this one's cool. You're going to remember when you see it.
Oh yeah. Dude, that is sick. So I'm looking at a Hebrew bootleg Beastie Boys. I'm telling y'all, it's Sabotage. So that's like later, eh? That's like late 90s.
Yeah, 95 it says.
95?
Yeah, it's not I'm telling all y'all, it's I'm telling y'all. See that?
Yeah, I'm telling y'all, it's Sabotage. And then it has everything translated in Hebrew.
Yeah.
That's sick. Where'd you find that?
I found this at the bins, and I'm not a bins guy. And surprisingly, I found this shit.
Nice.
I can't. I'm not. I just can't. It's like fucking the bins, man. Bins are crazy. I'm not a. I can't do it.
What makes you hesitant, because of the people, or because it's hard to find shit, or because what?
Okay. Well, I mean, so this is the thing is that like competition is like fucking out the window. Like there's just so many people trying. There's so many vintage dealers now, and you know, especially in LA, you know, everybody's hungry and everyone's got bills to pay, and you know they're trying to do their thing, and so every time that I would go to the bins, it was just like literally 50 people looking
Yeah.
for the same shit, and so even people that aren't like looking for like the stuff I like, they'll still grab it, and so I have to like try to buy it from them or whatever, which is common. But
Yeah, a lot of guys do that.
t-shirts.
I got a TDI, dude. Actually, well, I got a TDI.
Yeah, is that like a STD?
No, I got married a long time ago. I only had those when I was in my 20s. But I got a TDI. It costs so much for the oil because it's like this crazy synthetic oil. But anyway.
Yeah. Is that a Volkswagen?
Yeah, Volkswagen. My mechanic, the other day I went there and he's rocking a sick 3D emblem Harley. And he's like, I got a bunch more at home. He's going to hook
What?
Yeah, dog.
You're like, turn around. Let me see the label. Which one is it?
It wasn't the good one. It was like the
90s one?
Yeah, it's a 90s.
Oh. Are you recording this right now?
I'm recording this, yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
Okay, so we've been on for a long time, but I got a few more things I want to go over with you, okay?
Yeah.
I want to talk about this thing you did, the Rosebowl virtual flea.
Okay.
So explain it.
So Free People, as you know, is owned by Urban Outfitters. They approached me and asked if I wanted to sell t-shirts and like sweatshirts and kind of like pretty much whatever I wanted. And so I was like, yeah, why not? And I don't know, like their idea, I think, is more of just, you know, people are at home, there's no Rose Bowl, let's, you know, kind of take this idea and make it something, and which is kind of cool. You know, people are just trying to adapt to like this whole like, you know, pandemic, everyone's gonna die instantly thing, you know what I mean? And so
Wow.
Anyway, yeah, it's kind of like a marketing thing, you know. They're just trying to like, you know, expand their market, and it's good for them, you know. It's good, like people are trying to, yeah. And I'm not even sure if like, you know, if it's like from like a earth saving point of view or not. Probably not.
Probably not.
No.
Marketing, but that's cool. So I heard about this a long time before it happened, and it was so funny because I heard about it through like Mike and Liz, but it was very vague of like what they were going to do. And then I kept asking people and no one knew anything about it. And then you posted, and I was like, oh, there it is. But basically they got a bunch of vendors together from the Rose Bowl who kind of fit the Free People vibe. And you guys got to put your product on the web. Did you upload the product?
Yeah. So like we do all the work, we take all the photos, and you know, we do all the work basically. And then we upload it.
And is this going to keep
going? Like
you get to do it again?
Yeah. So like until they, you know, don't have anything with Rosebowl anymore, then it's an event basically. It's like an online event once a month. Instead of the second Sunday of the month, which is a normal Rose Bowl, it's on the third Sunday of the month, and it's like a one-day thing. And it's pretty cool. I mean, it's, you know, what's cool about it is that the market with that company, like, you know, they don't bat an eye, like, you know, on price or like even and they don't know, you know, maybe some might know like, you know, vintage, but some may not know vintage too, and they don't care. They're like, you know, this looks cool.
Yeah. It's
$200. Let's buy it. You know, it's like the Melrose concept, you know.
You know what I think that market is likened to is the current affair market.
You think so? You mean, what do you mean?
Well, like the customer, at, you know, current affair, the event.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah,
it's
I
a
guess.
higher end female buyer who is shopping at Free People. Like Free People's prices are way higher than Urban Outfitters, right?
Sure. Yeah.
So they're a little more savvy. They're into a certain look. They don't care about the prices as much.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I can kind of see that. But me being here in LA and seeing like the current affair thing, like whole deal, it's like a mix of, designers and rich people. That's all it is.
Current affair,
Um,
yeah.
huh?
That's what the market is there. That's what the customer base is.
Yeah, for the most part, for the current affair, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like it's either designer or like rich people, and that's it, really.
Yeah.
Because those dealers have to pay like a premium to be at those markets, and that's a whole nother deal. Like they had I don't know if you saw, but there's like a big backlash on that, the company that runs that current affair.
Why?
I don't know, something to do with like the guy that runs it or something.
Is he being canceled?
No, no, I mean he's still killing it. He's making a bunch of money, but it has some, it was really interesting because it had someone had posted something that they were like a dealer at that show, and they they worked really hard to get like their fan base to come there to that show, right? Like people that had followed this company,
Yeah.
this vintage company. And so they'd been saving like all these really special pieces that like these people have seen online, like, oh, it's going to be available at this market. So like you can come to this market and like shop it or whatever, right? So like the guy that runs it, what he does is that like he goes to like these dealers before the show and tries to like buy the shit out, like all the best shit for like a low price or whatever, right? Which is like a normal, typical tactic, like, you get in and you want to get the good stuff, but it's like he runs the show and he wanted to get like the best shit from this company, and he probably does it with all the other dealers too. And like that person, it was like a woman, and she said, no, I'm not going to sell you all this stuff right now. Like I have people that are coming that paid to come to your vintage show to come shop with me, and you want to come and buy all this stuff from you there?
Yeah. Okay. You froze again.
You there?
Yeah, buddy.
All right, you're gonna have to edit all that out. Sorry, I don't know what happened.
I hate editing, you bastard.
I know. I saw your editing skills, and it was very like, it was like in like mid conversation. It was like, it was like, yeah. So this one time at Bandcamp, it was like, oh shit,
Yeah, editing sucks, dude. That's not what I'm here. I'm not here to edit. I'm here to talk shit and just
Sorry.
let the people
If you want
judge.
to talk shit, I'll fucking go all day.
Okay, so you were saying about current affair. He was doing all this shady dealings, and I guess he got a bit of shit for it. So the woman was talking to you about it, or what did she?
No. She like posted something from like last year or something like that, and it like gained like traction again. But like I guess that guy's known for like doing that. That sucks though. I mean, but I was saying it's kind of like inspiration. It's like and like a lot of the dealers that dealt with inspiration like don't deal with inspiration anymore because it's catered to the Japanese high-end buyers. That's it. It's like I'm gonna sell the the super expensive ticket for those buyers to come in, and I'm gonna make a bunch of money off them, and then I'm gonna make a bunch of money off the dealers, and it's kind of, I don't know. It's like it sucks. It sucks to see that shit because like us dealers and people, like we work hard to do this shit, and it's like people shouldn't be like taking advantage of like that, like it's not cool.
I mean, shout out to Rin Tanaka. He's the guy that started Inspiration. He also has he started making vintage books, which are called My Freedom, which are super dope. And if you're into actually learning about vintage and having some resources, go buy the My Freedom books because they're like there's like what, like 10 different episodes, or
they're great.
And they're huge coffee table books, tons of wicked pictures. But anyway, he started Inspiration. We did it. You did it for a lot of years. I did it for like almost 10 years. So I don't know, from the beginning. It used to be on the Queen Mary, which was sick, in the basement of that boat.
Yeah, haunted.
And then, we stopped doing it because the marketing was weak. and he only advertised, like you said, to Japanese and not got
Still
enough.
weak.
He didn't
Are
get
you
enough.
kidding?
Well, yeah, that's why we stopped. And
Yeah.
we were like, we know everybody who's going to be there in attendance. We know them.
Yeah, they could just deal with you directly, right?
Yeah, they can just come to the Saga Motor Hotel and like hang out in a hotel room. So that's
Yeah, helps you out. Yep. No,
uh,
but seriously, like, are you like, you guys like swim in money, right? Like you guys just fucking.
dude. I have my own bank vault. I just go in there and roll around in gold.
What's like the craziest thing in your collection right now? Like, okay, personal. But hold on, the craziest thing as a personal, and then one that's like just fucking, 5Gs or whatever. I don't know. 5Gs isn't.
I don't even have anything like I don't have anything that's 5Gs, because well, there might be a T-shirt now that's worth 5Gs, but I don't even know. I don't have anything like that. To be honest, I hardly have any real true vintage. I have things that I wear for true vintage. I have like some really cool hunting jackets. I have some cool denim pieces. But if something is worth $5,000, I just can't keep it. I feel like fuck. It's hard for me to keep it. So my personal true vintage pieces are all in like the $200 to $500 range, not 5,000.
Yeah,
but
sure.
for my craziest piece, like I think a lot of my Paddy collection, to me, like some of the really sick reverse piles and so many skate keys. It's hard to
Hey, what about the hookups shit? I didn't even see that virtual fleet.
Yeah, so I sold half of it. I still have half because it was too much to go in one hour of virtual fleet.
Oh, so you're gonna do another one?
I don't know if I'll go virtual fleet. I just kind of seeing how I want to sell it. We'll figure that out.
It's gonna be a new one, virtual Drew.
Kirby and me might come out and do something midweek. Do a little Canadian. We're gonna call it the Hoser and the Bogan. A little Canadian / Aussie virtual something or other. Who knows?
Nice.
My personal shit that I really love. I don't know, man.
I mean, even like so like I see that I see that you're like talking about like, I was watching like the other podcasts about like the Latin tea and shit, and like like it's like or whatever like or like what's current and stuff, and it's like I know that like you have to have content, but like do you really give a shit? That's what I want to know, because like to me it's like the business is one thing, and I know the business is a business, and then you have your personal shit, but it's like do you really care about that?
Yeah. Okay.
You don't have to cover yourself.
No. Here's my answer. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, do I value an Aladdin shirt? To me, that doesn't mean much to me. Like I said that on the podcast. I was like, it doesn't represent like a cool part of Americana for me. I think the coolest thing about that, if anything, it was just that it was Robin Williams, to be honest. And I didn't even know that.
Yeah, for sure.
Someone asked me that trivia question like not long ago, and I got it wrong. And then when I thought about it, I was like, literally, that's the only cool thing about that piece. But what I dork out on is I really am into marketing, and I'm into business, and I'm into like the trends. So like I'm analytical about that shit. So
yeah, I like that too.
Yeah, and I find it interesting as hell of how this all moves and works and fluctuates, and that's kind of why I do all this shit. So yes, I give a shit in that regard. You know what I mean?
Okay, good.
Yeah, like how it all works, man. That's like how I spread all this like knowledge around about business and marketing and different things because I go deep into it.
Yeah.
With
So
Frankie.
So I was talking to someone not that long ago, and we were just kind of talking about it because people ask me shit all the fucking time. Like it's just like they're just constantly asking me things, and I'm okay with answering whatever to the best of my knowledge, or like people are interested in like my opinion, which is cool. But it doesn't mean what I say is right. It's just my opinion, right? But they had brought up a really good point, and it made a lot of sense. And this kind of goes back to like Rosebowl and like actually just being in LA in general. But like a lot of shit starts here, and whether it's let's say like round two, like they're not from LA, but they're in LA, and they can create their market, because they have a big following. And so like with Chris and them, they what they do is like, like with the trends and stuff. And so it's like, okay, this is cool, this is cool, this is cool now. Before, like they're buying those things before they're cool, and then they're creating that market.
Yeah.
That's really smart.
And that's what round two did a lot. Like, they really went hard on the movie teas at one point, which kind of made the movie tea thing boom. And they were partly instrumental in making the Guess boom. Remember when Guess was going?
Oh yeah, for sure.
So yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
So I mean, it's kind of interesting to see. You have to like take that kind of point too. So it's like, it's like I'm the puppeteer. Like I'm the puppeteer, and I'm creating all the movement here. And so that's in any business, marketing or it's all about perception.
Yeah, it is. It's
all perception.
Psychology, man.
It's all psychology. And so like if you can tap into it, then like you're set. And there's so much that we don't know.
There's a level that's acceptable, and there's a level that's not acceptable. And market manipulation, false market manipulation is lying. It's kind of fraud, right?
Yeah, but that's so common.
It is so common, but it's still fraud, man. You're lying. You're straight lying. So, me and a bunch of the homies were joking a long time ago. I'm just going to tell everybody because we never did it, but we were gonna run like a social experiment where we were gonna try to make country music teas cool, right? And I started
like a ton of them.
Yeah, there's so many of them. Like, fuck, how many friggin' like Travis Tritt and like
all this country music sucks. You know that? It fucking sucks. It's the worst music ever.
but half the time people want the band's shirts for the graphics anyway, so they don't even give a shit. So you could make it. It's possible to make that cool. But anyway, our game plan was to be like, we're gonna post completed sales. Like, just totally fuck with it. Like, put them on our website and like put sold out, but have it at like $300, and then post it on the stories, and then be like, sold for this, and just really go hard and be like, can we actually as a group make that market boom?
You could.
We could. And they all fucking ditched me, and I was the only one doing it. There's probably some people watching this going like, I remember when you posted that $200 fucking country shirt, and it's funny because people have mentioned that to me. They're like, I can't believe you sold that, because I did it a couple times. I just
so it was it was
I totally lied. And I posted some fake sales for country shirts, and it was all out of research, people. It was for it was for psychological marketing research.
I get you.
So yes, it is possible, but it is fraud. And we were going to do it and tell people. We were going to do it.
Okay, so that's what I think the Latin tea is. It's fraud.
Yeah.
It's a fake. It's like a mirage of like, a sale. And so like it like, it goes like, it's like this, it spreads like this huge thing now. So everyone's like so confused, right? Like, why did this thing sell for this much? But like, it's a mix of like, maybe the guy really wanted it for that much, and like, who cares? Or like, they're all trying to outdo each other. But I think that's another thing too. It's like they're all trying to like outdo each other. It's like, like,
that's the auction.
That's kind of how it is in the vintage game, even in the true vintage game. It's like, and inspiration is a huge example of that. It's like, who has the oldest pair of Levi's, who has the the darkest denim of the type 1 or blah blah blah, whatever, right? So
and then also on the other side of it, the buyer side, you have those booths that like block themselves off and then open up, and then the Japanese guys and everybody Happy's in there fucking fighting with elbows out. Everyone fucking rushes. You know what I mean? They rush.
But that all that is that that's it's all psychology, really. And like, even like the auction part, that's like it's like a rush.
It's a dopamine rush. Yeah.
So it's like, dude, you don't gotta tell me. Like, come on. I have the eBay app. All right. I told you the eBay app is built in. I hooked it up.
It's hooked up right to your dopamine receptor.
I'm getting one right now.
Just pump it right in.
Double V stencil.
So I want to talk about another subject.
Okay.
not that I don't want to keep talking about this stupid $6,000 T-shirt.
No,
but
no, no. I'm only trying to get my point across because I know that like people are gonna listen to this.
Yeah,
And,
for sure.
you know.
And just to tell you my opinion, I don't think that it was fraud. I spoke to that guy. I think this guy
So deep. Okay.
has a plan. Well, because everyone talks about this shit, so I knew who it was like the next day. But I spoke to him on DMs because I tried to sell him another shirt, and you know I just offered him another shirt, and he didn't buy it.
How much?
But he wanted it. That shirt was out. I was asking. I have the Sleeping Beauty Disney shirt, the '80s Sleeping Beauty Disney shirt. You've probably seen it on my Instagram. I was asking $500 because this shit's fucking super grail hammer rare.
Fucking fire.
Anyway, he's a super nice guy. He's super genuine with me. We had a big DM conversation. He was about to buy it, but then whatever. He didn't like it for some reason. It's fine. So
yeah, because he spent $6,000 already.
so maybe that's it. My thing is, I think he's gonna open a store, do something interesting with it. I don't really know, but anyway, on to the next topic.
Okay, go.
You are a sole proprietor. You have your own business. You're an entrepreneur in the vintage world, and you're your dad. Yeah, your son was on the show a second ago. Your son's
cool.
6, you said. I guess I just want to kind of talk about like the work-life balance and how like doing what you do benefits your home life.
Like what I do as
like allowing the freedom of making your own schedule, selling vintage, also allows you the freedom to like spend a ton of time with your kid, right?
It does. I would say like the majority of my time is for him, and that's because I don't want to take time away from him. His mind is growing, and so I want to be there for that and to like be a part of that. And so it's actually kind of harder for me on my business because especially now with the whole like homeschool situation, it's a whole different ball game. Like, and so I have to reevaluate my situation and figure out like ways to pick or, take time to like take photos of stuff or whatever. And so like my business is kind of weird because I don't really sell on eBay. I don't have a website right now. I'll occasionally sell like on my Instagram, but like for the most part, most of my business was at Rosebowl, because, I'd have like my, monthly clients come in and, people that had like shopped with me before they would come by. And, like I said, I'm very personable. So that was my deal. I don't have a storefront. And so, I have my Instagram and then I have the Rosebowl. And so now I'm, like with the free people thing, it was kind of like a business opportunity. So I took it and, it's cool. And, I'm just really thankful to all my followers and like people like you that like, that I've known for a while in the same community that, like can, feed off of each other and, like give each other props and,
support each other.
Huh?
Support each other.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, it's great.
On that regard, you guys, whoever's listening better be following this guy after this episode comes out. So go do that now.
Yeah, Vintage Warrior. So can you tell them what that is? And like every time you see me at the ball, and so people don't.
Like,
I mean, they know who people that don't know who the wrestler was. Huh?
You mean how?
You say A?
I said, Warriors, come out and play. Yay. Huh?
And you got to say A after that.
A. Yeah, A. I'll say
so, like,
A.
I do have a question about that. Like, so I say dude a lot because, I'm a SoCal boy. Like,
Surfer dude.
Canada, is it all of Canada says A?
I think we all say
A. So does A like mean like, are you listening?
A is like, no, A is like.
You know what I'm talking about? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like, I'm going to the store, eh? I don't know. Like, it's just a thing we have to think. Instead of saying, like, huh. It's kind of like you guys say, huh? We say A. I don't really know. It makes no sense.
I'm just trying to understand it. That's all. Because Canada isn't that far from where I live. And so it's just so different.
But then if you go to the States, you got Southern accents. You got
I know.
You got Jersey accents.
I'm just fucking.
You got But we also have the East Coast Canadian accent, which is very
I know.
strange.
And the French people,
If we have the
It's
French
like
Canadian
it's-
accent and
yeah, they hate it. So what were we talking about? They do.
work-life balance.
I
Basically, you're
lived in
saying
France for a little while, and they would just talk shit. It was so funny. I'd be like, I
French
don't know, I don't
Canadians?
know nothing about that. Huh?
the
Yeah,
French
just
Canadians.
accent.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they like butcher the language basically.
I dated a French Canadian girl for a long time, so I know all about it.
So do they say like we, eh?
No, they don't. But
Hey, have you ever seen this tea on this label?
50-50? Yeah. But I don't. Usually, it's not yellow, is it?
That's usually a Champion Blue Bar.
Oh, I've never seen that particular tea on that label. No.
Oh, okay.
Is that though? Is that 50-50? The Champion Blue Bar would be like the late 70s. Is that 50-50, 70s or 80s?
Yeah, 70s.
That's sick. Dead stock, buddy. Nice.
Well, the guy, it is actually dead stock, but the dude that I bought it from put it in his own packaging, so I haven't touched it.
Oh.
Dude, this is the problem with me. It's like, dude, I have so much stuff. And you have way more shit than I do. Because, I don't know, you got crazy connects.
Well, I got a warehouse here. I'm in my warehouse in my office, man. So there's a lot more space because I got to run stores out of here and Frankie out of here and like.
Yeah, how's your Frankie stuff doing?
Really good, man. Yeah.
So like, for example, like with the creating the trend thing, and so like what you guys do with the cut and sew, like, and the Nike pieces, like that's really sick because you created that market basically. And
Yeah.
it may not, no one might not even know about any of that here in the US. And I don't think they do, except for people that follow you and stuff. But
Well, reworking is picking up steam with a lot of people. So it's becoming a little bit more known throughout the world, I think. And people are into it now because obviously for fashion, but being environmentally conscious is becoming more in the forefront, right?
trendy, yes.
Yeah, it's becoming trendy, but rightfully so. And hopefully it doesn't fade away like a fucking
No,
trend.
it won't.
Exactly. So yeah, people know. I mean, most of our business is to the States, to be honest. So
Oh, cool.
yeah, we do really well, and we create interesting things that we like and we want to see, and then we put it out there. And yeah, we have created quite a market for ourselves, not to be confused with fraudulent market.
Okay, that's right. This is organic.
But yeah, no,
This
No,
is
it's been good.
organic, grass-fed, vintage.
Organic grass-fed beef, baby.
My new IG.
That's actually a good IG name, dude.
Yeah.
Organic grass-fed vintage, dude. Someone's probably gonna pop up now with that name after they hear this podcast. I want to say though, you were talking about your kid, giving your time to your kid.
Yes.
That is very admirable, dude. It's rad to hear. I think it's super cool. Not a lot of people do that. I try to spend as much time with my kids as I can, but like I'm not home every day, all day. I'm at the office, right? And
Yeah, I mean, you have two boys, right?
2 boys, yeah. Hudson's in grade 3 now, and it's tricky nowadays because now we're trying to be like no computer games during the week for school. I mean, my kids are actually back in physical school.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because we live in such a small little community where like the classes are small and there's not very many cases at all in Canada right now, so they opened them.
In general?
In general, yeah.
What are we doing wrong here? Our president is so cool. I mean,
God.
anyway.
Yeah, so I try to spend as much time, but it's super rad that you put him first and you do it like that, man. And
Yeah, I mean, like,
freedom.
it's different. I mean, like, I definitely need a space to work from, and like the time to take that space and set the time to work from, and it's hard being here because my wife, she works from home and, she has an important job that she deals with. And so, I'm trying to like keep the house stable and then run the business and then take care of him, and then it's like, after all that, it's like, I'm kind of like the last one to take care of. And so like, I'm trying to find the balance basically. And so I'm constantly trying to figure out ways to just one up everybody, You know?
Oh, yes. That was so
That's why.
delivery, man. Perfect delivery. No, but I hear you, man. That's like that's tricky. I've always told my wife, I'm like, if you want to go out and work, I'm ready to chill with the kids and stay home more.
I mean, that would be good for you guys. I mean, you know what's cool about your situation, and I mean, you're still like the boss, and so you can, you know, you have a team under you and stuff, which is great. And I love seeing, dude, I've been following you guys forever, and like before like we met in person, like I had already like known who you guys were just because I was so inspired by like, you know, the whole like just the, and like this was like when you were like doing like mostly like kind of more streetwear stuff, you know, like and Nike and like, but like really cool shit, you know. And so I was always like really impressed and always like kind of like really inspired by you guys. And I've always told my wife like, oh yeah, like, you know, oh man, like it was funny, like this is a minute ago, and I'd be like, oh yeah, like I remember this one company like that I followed like from Canada, like you know, like I met him and stuff, and it was like it was like cool. I was like stoked, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we hit it off pretty quick at the bowl, man, when we first met.
Huh?
We were like, you and me hit it off pretty quick at the bowl when we first met.
Oh yeah.
It was always good to see you down there, man. So this must be like a huge life accomplishment for you right now, coming on my podcast, then, eh?
Yeah, I mean, dude, I wish it was Thrift Lord's podcast, but this will do.
I'm always playing second fiddle to Thrift Lord, dude. Come on. Okay, dude.
No, this is cool. I mean, I know we've been trying to set this up for a minute, and like probably most of the stuff that we talked about might be kind of random.
Good,
which,
good.
Yeah, which is good. And anyone that's like listening to this is like, I thank you because it's more or less just like them like hanging out with us, I guess. You know what I mean?
Totally. But you do be honest, we there's some knowledge bombs in this one, man. People are gonna learn a lot.
You think so? I don't know.
Maybe not. Maybe they'll come out dumber. Who knows? Could go either way.
Speaking of dumber, I have a really good Dumb and Dumber shirt.
Oh yeah.
I don't have it visible, but somebody offered me a bunch of money for it, and I said, I don't know, I think I'm gonna do a virtual flea. So like I might only do it because, you know, are those people actually like paying for that stuff? Because
have you been on the virtual flea?
Down.
Have you been on it?
And
well, I don't know if you heard on that other episode, but I had a flaker on my hookups hoodie. On the one big hookups hoodie, and then I gave it to the second place guy, and he paid. But everybody else that day paid.
Oh, cool.
So my virtual flea was like.
Did you sell the one that I sold you for like cheap?
Which one did you sell me? I don't remember.
I sold you the katana like green.
No, dude, I have that one. That one's sick, and mad people want that one. How much did I buy it for?
I was waiting to just. I mean, I don't care, but I was just curious. Like,
yeah,
I was like thinking like, this fucker talked me down from like 60 to like $40 or some shit on like a fucking OG like early hookups rare tee. You know what I really want though? I want the hookups shoes.
Yeah, you know what? They used to be on eBay in the box, and they weren't even that bad. Oh, I mean, they were like $300 then, so it was a lot then. But now I bet you could sell that for whatever. And I should have bought them because they're super hard to find now. Somebody had like 5 pairs in the box.
There's some really cool Instagrams that I follow that like post like OG skate shoes in like really good condition, like 90s pairs. Like,
yeah, dude, there's a few collectors that have crazy pages, eh?
It's really good.
I don't really have a lot of shoes. I have a few pairs, but
older stuff. Are you gonna hit up on Instagram? What'd you sell? What'd you get? What do you got?
I don't know. No, nothing.
Any notifications?
Bunch of bullshit. Probably kids asking me for like some value of some shitty T-shirt that's worth nothing.
I wanted to do this earlier, but let's see.
Not to discourage you guys from asking me prices. Are you taking a picture of me?
No, video.
What's up? What's up? We're already on a video, dude.
Yeah, that's a good one. You're gonna like that one. I'm tagging you right now. Okay. Instagram, follow Drew Heifetz.
Nice.
And Jesse Heifetz and F as in Frank. They don't fuck around.
We're gonna call it a day here, Keith.
Let's do this again a different time.
Let's do this again for sure. Hopefully in person, we can sit around and talk shit in the hotel, or I might come down to Cali in October or November and get a place in Malibu for like a month.
For what? Just to hang out and surf?
Well, that's the main reason, but also to go buying. I want to go buying.
Where? Oh,
My Frankie buying is a lot easier than what most people.
Oh,
do.
yeah.
So I can go to all the dealers and buy stuff to rework. That's
what I
gotta do. So I'm planning on that. But if I do that, you come to the crib. We'll wear masks. It'll be chill. We'll hang out.
That's cool. I'll wear my Aladdin thong too.
Okay, sweet, dude. Wear your Aladdin thong, and we can sit on the magic carpet out back and have the podcast on the magic carpet.
Well, you might see my magic carpet through the microphone.
Uh-oh. TMI.
Sorry.
It went weird.
It had to at some point.
Let's have some shout outs, Keith.
Shout outs?
Who do you want to thank?
I just want to thank everybody for following me. I want to thank you guys for being cool. You and your brother Jesse are fucking badass dudes, and keep it real.
Get it?
I want to thank Thrift Lord because he's inspired me to be a better person. But
give us your top three. The last thing on the show. Give us your top three dealers in LA. People that are your friends, or possibly just people you think are doing cool shit. You're good friends with Orange Pancake.
Well, yeah, but she's already she's well established. But yeah, Jamie is a badass. I love her.
Shout out Jamie. She's cool.
She lives literally one street away from me, which is cool.
Oh, that's sick.
Between here and New York. But yeah, Jamie, Orange Pancakes from Raggedy Threads in LA. She's really cool. She actually gave me like her racks from Rosebowl when she started like 20 years ago, like the old school swap meet racks, like the ones you guys use.
Dude, so they had like energy in them. They already had
yeah, dude. Yeah. She's great. She's actually helped me quite a bit. So big shout out to her. I do want to shout out Piefer, because Piefer's the homie. There's so many people, all like the locals, all the people like out of state that are great, people all over the world that follow me that are, that I get in touch with. But in LA, there's a homie, his name's Sekou. His company is called Niche Garment Co. And he does kind of like more of the true vintage stuff. So check him out.
Okay, dope. Okay, we're gonna end it there, buddy. Thank you for coming on.
Next time I'll make notes. Okay.
That was a fun chat.
All right.
Make notes.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Vintage and Stuff with your host, Drew Heifetz. I just recently recorded an episode with my dad, Dave. He's back in the house. We're hanging out. Couldn't see each other through COVID. That was weird. But we're back recording, and it's a weird episode because we kind of do this like group therapy thing, trying to work out some father-son issues we got going on. So anyway, that's the next to drop. I've lined up some more great guests. I can't really talk tonight. I've lined up some more great guests for the show coming up soon. Super pumped on that. I've been officially 4 weeks no booze. You know what that means? Productivity levels going up, more podcasts for you guys to tune into because I get super hyper focused when I'm not drinking, and I get ADD, and I get tunnel vision on what I want to do, and I want to pump out some goddamn podcasts, okay? Again, Vintage and Stuff code, VTG and Stuff code for F as in Frank, vintage.com. Go shop now. Throw the thumbs up. Share this video. Subscribe to the channel. Go check out my Patreon, link down below. Love you all and appreciate you so much. See you on the next one.